Scott Pilgrim is one of the best movies, in my opinion. And before we really get into the video, yes, I'm being biased. I first watched Scott Pilgrim the year it came out, 2010. Oddly enough, the same year I was introduced to a lot of my favorite movies, notably Wanted, Fight Club, and Kick-Ass. Damn, my dad was lenient in what he let 10-year-old me watch. And before you spam it in the comments, yes, everybody and their grandmother has talked about this movie. But as you guys should know, I'm not a review channel. I just talk about things from the perspective of a 17-year-old with way too much time on his hands. Okay? Okay. One of the greatest things about this film is that it doesn't shy away from how fucking weird the comic is. And not in a bad way. Scott Pilgrim is just a fundamentally weird, video game-esque idea, and it's amazing. A normal guy has to defeat this girl's 7 evil exes before they can keep dating. And the film doesn't downplay the weird shit in the comic, if anything it amplifies it, mostly thanks to its sound design. The lyrics that we see on the comic panels are fleshed out to be these full garage band songs, and the film is even able to get sound effects from popular video games. The movie has its own original rendition of the Fairy Fountain song from The Legend of Zelda. How the fuck is this film not publicly shown worldwide 24/7? Oh, remember the music that I touched on earlier? It's pretty fantastic. So you know Sex Bomb, the fictional band from the film, is absolutely perfect. The full Sex Bomb songs from the soundtrack aren't these really polished songs that would come from like a record label. They sound like songs that a bunch of 20-somethings would make in their living room. Beck even worked on the soundtrack. Why is that common in my favorite films? And if you have any doubts about the film's quality, just listen to a few songs from the soundtrack. Some of the best are Garbage Truck and Black Sheep. How the fuck is one of the best video game movies of all time not even based on a video game? Not only that, but it failed at the box office, mostly due to its kind of shit advertisements. It's on like Donkey Kong? You gotta be fucking kidding me. It literally keeps me up at night how Valentine's Day did better at the box office. It's official, everyone, this world makes no sense. Now let's put on our movie glasses and look a little deeper into the film. I think one of the reasons why I love Scott Pilgrim so much, besides the writing, acting, directing, and editing, is Scott Pilgrim himself. Scott gets verbally shit on by like everybody in the film. They even rewrote Ramona to be a little colder in the movie, and since most of her scenes are shared with Scott, you can see where I'm going with this. But if I'm being honest, Scott kinda deserves it. He isn't malicious, he's just clueless, especially to the people he cares about. My favorite running gag in the film are the constant callbacks to Scott and Kim's relationship. The film never explicitly says what happened between them. Now sure, in Scott Pilgrim vs. the animation, he just moves to Toronto, which ends the relationship, but I think that the film works better if this subplot just stays ambiguous. Scott in the film is a self-loathing mess, and I fucking love it. Because we've all been there. The relationship with Knives is sweet the first time around, but after watching it a few times, it's just sad. Scott is just dating Knives because she basically worships him. They never really have a conversation in the film. It's either Knives talking about high school or how cool Scott is. And Scott's phone call with his sister in Act 1 is vulnerable and relatable. He doesn't mean to use knives, but like he says, it's
nice, you know, it's just simple.
It's pretty obvious in the film that Scott is at a crossroads, and he thinks that the solution is to just jump into another relationship. But by the end of the film, he learns that self-love is stronger than love for someone else. There's even a message that both Scott and Ramona have to learn by the end of the film, that's to not let people from your past have control over who you are in the present, especially your exes. A movie that came out when I was 10 literally taught pre-puberty me life lessons that just went over my head. And it's only just now how much I'm realizing that I probably needed this film in high school. Okay, Justice, I get it. I'll watch the movie. It'll be a good substitute for all 6 volumes of the comic anyways. No, fuck you, read the comic too. The comic is so funny in its own way. And obviously for time constraints, the film couldn't fit all the subplots from the comic. There's even some jokes that are only in the comic, and that makes it, in my opinion, 2 separate fantastic experiences. Still not sold? Fine. For those of you who are 4 minutes into this video and are still doubting me, for some fucking reason, the film script was finished before the comic's run was completed. So if anything, the source material's ending was based off of the adaptation's ending. And as far as I know, they aren't the same. I haven't gotten that far. These books aren't cheap. Most definitely watch the short Scott Pilgrim vs. the animation. It is fucking great. And I would say play the game, but it was removed from digital stores. Rest in pepperonis. Look, if you haven't seen this movie, you are living a wrong life. If you love Edgar Wright, music, video games, comics, or if you just love a good fucking movie, watch it. It's on Netflix. I got my DVD copy from Walmart for $5. there is no reason to not watch or read this fantastic piece of art. Go give the movie the love and support that it deserves that it didn't get in theaters. Also, Ramona is best girl, the naysayers can eat a dick.